On September 11, 2001, the world watched in horror as terrorists attacked the United States. The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City were struck by airplanes, ultimately collapsing. The Pentagon, just outside Washington, D.C., was also hit. A fourth plane crashed in a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, after passengers fought back against the hijackers. On that day, Donald Trump was in New York City. He was in Trump Tower, his skyscraper in Midtown Manhattan. From his vantage point, he had a view of the unfolding tragedy. Trump Tower is located on Fifth Avenue, several miles north of the World Trade Center site. While Trump did not witness the attacks firsthand, he could see the smoke and debris from his building. In the years since, he has made various claims about what he saw and did that day, some of which have been disputed. Regardless, Trump's location in New York City on 9/11 placed him in the heart of the city that was forever changed by the events of that day. His experiences and reactions in the immediate aftermath would become a subject of much discussion and scrutiny in the years that followed. In the hours and days following the 9/11 attacks, Donald Trump gave interviews and made statements reflecting on the tragedy. He called into a local New York City television station, WWOR, for a phone interview just hours after the attacks. During this interview, Trump expressed his shock and anger, stating, "This just can't be tolerated." He also made a comment about the height of his own building, 40 Wall Street, now being the tallest in Lower Manhattan after the collapse of the Twin Towers. Trump also claimed to have witnessed the second plane hitting the South Tower. He described seeing people jumping from the burning buildings, a claim he repeated in later years. 2 days after the attacks, Trump visited Ground Zero, the site of the World Trade Center collapse. He spoke to a German television station describing the devastation and offering his condolences. During this visit, he claimed to have sent construction workers from his company to assist with the rescue and recovery efforts. These early accounts and actions, particularly his claim about sending workers to Ground Zero, have been the subject of debate. While some reports mention Trump Organization employees assisting at the site, the extent of their involvement and whether Trump personally directed them remains unclear. In the years since 9/11, Donald Trump has continued to make comments about the attacks and their aftermath. He has repeatedly claimed that he witnessed the collapse of the World Trade Center from his apartment in Trump Tower, despite its location miles away. Trump has also made controversial statements about the Muslim community, alleging that he saw thousands and thousands of Muslims in New Jersey celebrating the attacks. This claim has been widely debunked. Trump's handling of 9/11-related issues has also drawn criticism. He was critical of George W. Bush's response to the attacks, suggesting that the former president should have done more to prevent them. Trump also faced backlash for a 2013 tweet in which he seemed to take credit for the low number of deaths in the World Trade Center collapse on 9/11. The tweet, later deleted, read, "I want to extend my best wishes to all, even the haters and losers on this special date, September 11th. These statements and actions have sparked outrage and accusations of insensitivity. Trump's critics argue that he has used the tragedy of 9/11 for personal gain and political advantage, rather than treating it with the solemnity it deserves. In 2024, on the 23rd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, Donald Trump chose to mark the occasion with visits that highlighted the increasingly controversial company he keeps. He first visited the Shanksville Volunteer Fire Company in Pennsylvania, the site where United Airlines Flight 93 crashed after passengers and crew fought back against the hijackers. He then visited a fire station in Lower Manhattan. However, it was his choice of companion that drew the most attention. Trump was accompanied by Laura Loomer, a far-right activist known for spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories, including the baseless claim that the 9/11 attacks were an inside job. Loomer, who has been banned from numerous social media platforms for hate speech, documented the day's events on platforms where she still maintains a presence. The Trump campaign released statements emphasizing the importance of honoring the victims and heroes of 9/11, but did not address Loomer's presence or her history of controversial statements. This silence, coupled with his continued association with figures like Loomer, raised concerns about Trump's judgment and the influence of conspiracy theorists within his circle.